Hell, it's Base Trade TV.
All right, now tied up 2-2. Big shout out before we get into the introductions to Zethian. Donated $1.50. Thank you very much for that generous donation, my friend. Zethian is a cool dude. He admins for DreamHack, and he actually helped us with Not Go for StarCraft a little while back, so actually legitimate shoutouts to him. But we find ourselves on one of the new Blizzard maps, or Pro League maps. Apparently, this was a bit of debate in the lobby, but regardless of who made the map, it's here and we're playing on it. Spawning in the lower right corner of the map, just evening out the series now 2-2. It's going to be the Axiom Esports player, Impact. And I've got to turn sponsor logos on. My bad.
In the top left as the Purple Terror, and it is Millennium's Dayshi. And I am 100% certain this was a Pro League map. I think it was made by Pro League.
Well, I don't know who made it. Regardless, my point is it's newer to, I think, a lot of the audience that perhaps doesn't watch Pro League as well. I'm going to quickly zoom around the map. Again, it's one of the new maps being introduced to the Season 2 of the ladder pool, guys. And a big part of why we're playing on it is because we get to see some cool dynamics and almost a preview of what is to come. Now, the main base actually looks really nice, and from a Terran perspective, I like it a lot. The problem is, over here on the natural side, it's safe at the start of the game, but it's kind of like Polar Knight with that natural base too, where you got the debris in the back that can eventually be knocked down. So a little bit scary in that regard.
Yeah, well, Polar Knight, no one ever breaks those down. Like, maybe in the beginning, people were trying to utilize the back door, but
Whoa.
Here, you break down those rocks so fast.
This crater around the third, by the way, looks wicked cool. The, like,
it is
light
so
beams
annoying.
coming out of it.
I've played on this map a few times, PvP, and it is actually very annoying. Dayshi, by the way, went for another 11 racks, 11 gas, or actually just 11 racks. No, 11 gas, I was right. So that's another early-ish Reaper. Impact did not go for the early pool this time, though, as opposed to that first game where dual orders got crossed.
And he's actually going to be opening the Reaper for, I think, what, is this the first time in the whole series? No, he did.
Oh, I just talked about how he did it in the first one.
Yeah, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. That, I don't know why, that totally...
Pay attention, Rifkin.
Brain stupid mode, I admit it. I apologize.
I
But
forgive you.
the drone, okay, this Overlord's going to be kind of happy that it's not going to get picked off by a Marine, but it scouts the Reaper. It confirms it too. And every Zerg player, again, like it's on the top of your back of your mind, there's going to be a Reaper at some point. And Dayshi actually going for it, I don't think it'll catch Impact off guard. I don't think it's going to kill like 15 or 20 workers, but do you think this will be the 3 Reaper opening or just the 2?
3 Reaper, is it good on this map? Is it good on this map? 3 Reaper is okay on this map because the ramp is so wide, and it's actually not even like a very steep ramp. It's odd to think about, but it's actually, there is steepness, difference in steepness and ramps. So I would really like if it was, and it is. 3rd Reaper's gonna pop out. It's gonna be very powerful to attack up that ramp. Oh, and it gets a... Oh, okay, that was fun.
Oh, how was that not a surround for Impact?
I know, right? Oh yeah, check this out. He missed it. I don't know why he missed it, but he did. There's actually a ledge over there that you can get up and not down on by a Reaper.
Oh, is it like a Yansu ledge?
Yeah, he tried to go to it. It's like this little...
And maybe we see on this side? Oh yeah, it's like a little cliff. You can see it better on Dayshi's base. Cause
yeah.
It's actually almost impossible to see over there though. There's no way you would... It looks like part of the ice over here.
Yeah, it does. You're right. That is a lot harder to see. But it is there, and you can get down it. I guess Dayshi's Reaper just kind of bugged out, or he was manually controlling it, or whatever. I don't know. But luckily it did survive, which is super cool, because it was supposed to be surrounded like 100%.
Oh. Man, I am failing on First Blood a lot today, guys, and I apologize for that. We'll pretend the next thing that dies is First Blood. But, kind of poking at the Queen for now. He's got to be careful. Speed is on the way, so he's kind of on a clock as far as what damage you can do with these Reapers. You never really want to give anything away that you can't afford.
Yeah, he knows he has at least 30 more seconds. That's typically when you expect speed to be out when they go for gas. Can he get a queen? You can get that creep tumor, that's for sure. No!
Loses the Reaper though, so that kind of takes a bit of the power away. But he keeps 2, so I mean the follow-up push if he goes for Hellions is still there. The problem is when you're left with 1 Reaper, it's kind of this really just, I don't know, wet rag.
Yeah. It is nice to kill that creature though, because the 3rd is so far away for a Zerg player. This map actually kind of looks like it sucks for Zerg players now that I think about it. That the creep's gonna take a long time to get over there, and there's a nice little avenue that Hellions can go and harass that for a very long time.
Well, Impact has shown us as well, especially in that last game, if given the opportunity, creep is something he can handle. Movement is something he can handle. Mobility is not an issue, but man, I'm looking at this ramp here, and this is so dirty. This is not quite Daedalus Point, but man, if it's not close, that wide ramp is so scary to look at.
That is a really wide ramp. I didn't even think about it. But, I guess, I mean, I can't even think about how many people play on this in Pro League, whether it's always Terran or what.
I guess the big part of it though is, unlike Daedalus Point, it doesn't have that really short rush distance, and you gotta wind through the middle of the map too a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's not, because I mean, Daedalus Point is like one of the shorter rush distances of all the maps available, but it's
That's
not.
true.
I think that's a bigger problem than most things. Anyways, Overlord's gonna scout this. He sees Cloak researching as well, so he knows precisely what Dayshi's gonna be up to. There's 14 lings on the way, sure, but 14 lings aren't gonna fare too well versus what's coming. I mean, they're kind of the necessary step to survive, but I worry because the Banshee and the Hellions combined are gonna do a lot of damage. Does get the full wall off here, and I guess it's not as wide as I thought it was.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's 4 supply depots in a bunker, which is
kinda
actually I
standard.
think that's also Polar Knight.
Yeah, it looks deceptively large is all.
Yeah, it does. I'm really surprised that Dayshi hasn't been more aggressive with the Hellions. As I said, there's that nice avenue that you can start attacking that third very early on, and instead he kept his Hellions back for a very long time. Also going up to 8, something we saw in the first game as well. This Banshee is going to be quite hard to deal with when it gets Cloak. The Spore Crawler's out there, but it's going to have to move again, because he's not going to be attacking the front, it should be attacking the third.
Well, Hellions trying to trade with the Queens at the moment, unfortunately. Not going for the bait of the Reapers, but instead focus firing on the Hellions. You can try to wrap around towards the third. That Spore Crawler should cover the mineral line. It does cover the mineral line, so the Banshee's kind of limited on what it can do there.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. There it goes. He finally wrapped around to the third. There are only drones there, and I feel like that's because Impact realizes, or there's not many anyways, that, you know, that's kind of dangerous. Oh, he transfers a few.
There's not enough drones there. I think Dayshi was hoping there'd be more drones to kind of dive in for.
Yeah, or the Lings weren't there, or, you know, what have you. But luckily, Impact, he got that third up really easy. It's more easy than I thought. The Banshee also couldn't do anything. In fact, the Cloak actually finished. It did. He does have 2 Banshees. Where are they?
But their time is kind of limited as the Mutalisks will be out shortly.
Right.
Spire's on the way, and again, it's not bad to have Banshees going into the mid game. They're good for sleeping off Roaches if they happen to be out. Getting free link kills or Bane kills are always a nice thing, but you're rarely going to find yourself that opportunity due to the Mutalisks. Now, if he actually picks off this Extractor, that'll be a huge nuisance for Impact, because Mutalisks are of course very gas intense units, but it's nothing too detrimental. You just remake this.
It's something. You know, technically it's a drone. You just have to build it.
Yeah. What's that mean where the guy's shrugging? At least it's something, or he's got the hands making the circle above his head.
Oh yeah, the little stick figure.
Yeah, at least it's something. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I guess that is it. Dayshi didn't take those extra 2 Hellions and Banshee for the longest time out of his main. Are they still there? No, he did finally get them. But those 2 Banshees, they can do a lot of damage, and they can, you know, take a few pot shots from a Spore Crawler too if they want to dive on a few drones. And instead, they didn't really do a whole lot.
Well, Impact's the big question here is kind of like, where does he take that 4th as well? This has
Right.
got that ledge that's really terrible.
Annoying as hell, man. It is just, God forbid, you put a pylon up there, put a
Oh.
drop up there.
I didn't realize there's rocks blocking off this pathway over here. That's kind of interesting.
Why would you ever want to break down the rocks so you could get that back?
I know, because there's a
that
ramp
base?
right here too, so I'm just trying to figure out what the point of these rocks, but I guess, I mean, it helps cover a little bit. It's a strange map layout, to say the least. Nothing that we're used to seeing, but Mutals are going to get in here this time, and Dayshi has turrets this time. This is
In the
not...
wrong position.
Well, it's in the wrong position, sure, granted, but it's not going to be as bad as was in Ultrazine, where he just couldn't mine, period.
Yeah, I was just kidding. He is going to be able to take that
Or not
third.
Ultrazine, sorry, Habitation. Ugh.
This third isn't that difficult. You don't put a bunker over there, and you're actually pretty set.
Really nice. Couple Marines will fend this off. When it's low amount of Mutalisks, you really don't have a lot to worry about. It's when it gets 20 plus, when it's 25 plus. Those are the numbers that you get really scared of as a Terran player.
Uh-oh. He doesn't have an armory. Does he? I'm looking at the structures.
No, I don't see an armory either.
Yeah, forgot it. So those upgrades are going to be severely,
Well, it's okay for now, though, because, I mean, Impact's only... He's on his way to 1-1. It's not like Impact's already started
That's
2-2 or
true.
anything.
Yeah. I still, like, he has to remember it, though. That's the big thing, is, like, he can forget it for a very long time. And it's just a countdown as the observers watch. How long did you forget it?
Well, Combat Shield's actually finish up here in just a second. This will make the fight a lot easier to deal with, but he's still got to spread versus those Banelings. Getting off a creep was the first step, spreading's the second. He does focus fire a lot of the Banelings over the Zerglings. Really nice control there out of Dayshi. Impact really should back away from this, though. He can't afford to lose these Mutalisks. You really need to ball those up to that really scary number I was talking about before. But some Banelings rolling in, a classic Impact move. Dayshi, are you paying attention to your third? This is going to be the big question. And he pulls! Gets a couple of worker kills nonetheless. Nothing too crazy, but could have been much worse.
Impact has forgotten Overlord's speed. The armory did get thrown down, by the way, so you're right, the 2-2 actually was not delayed compared to Impact. It's actually going to be really normal.
It's strange, you have both of them a little bit delayed, but in the end it ends up normalizing somewhat. But Mutalisks are still going to be a continued nuisance over here. For Dayshi, of course, it's a hard decision. If he knocks down this rock path, it allows him to chase the Mutalisks a little bit more effectively, but opens up a huge hole in his defense. So it's a bit scary to consider.
Nah, it's that's not worth it, I feel, in TVZ. TVP, you always break those down. I feel is going to be the thing as a Terran player, but
what are
TVZ
these?
is not worth it.
Marines are going to soak a couple of Baneling hits, which I guess is going to make it worthwhile, but loses the Medevac, which is not worthwhile at all. Upgrades are not going to be a huge factor for this fight. 2-2 is so far away, but coming in like this, he's got Widowmines unburrowed, unfortunately. So he can't quite get those hits off that he wants. He backs away from the Banelings. Zergling's still going to try and clean this up. Unfortunately, with the Medevacs there, not going to be possible, and more Banelings are made behind this. This is what I really like about Impact. There's a lot of Zerg players who'll just overwhelm. They'll get a lot of Banelings, and they're hard to stop, sure. But it's about having round 2, having the next amount of Banelings ready and available, and that's what's allowing him to keep pushing through back. And this game's looking a little bit more normal as far as the resources lost goes, but Dayshi, he's got to be careful. He constantly overextends like this, and now he's in full retreat. Gonna lose a couple of these Medevacs for that. And oh man, you don't want to be losing Medevacs as a Terran player. Not this early, at least.
Yeah, he did overextend right there.
Oh,
He should have
third
pulled
base.
back. Oh no.
Third base again. Okay, he's gonna rally towards the bunker this time. Take that out and slide into the SCV line. Oh, and he's gonna clean this one up.
Oh yeah, that's dead. That's a whole lot of dead.
Every single SCV goes down this time.
First blood.
Oops, I keep hitting first blood afterwards. I'm sorry about that, guys. It's F1 and F2. I got the buttons mixed up. But Mutalisks in the main pulls the SCVs. This is really unfortunate for Dayshi. It does feel like he's being a little bit run ragged. It's kind of like, as a Terran player, you're the one who drops multiple bases and has a Zerg player dancing all over the place. But Dayshi's the one who's got Banelings come to his third, while Mutalisks attack his main. A complete role reversal in that regard. And Impact is just constantly applying pressure. He's taken a 4th behind this 2 worth only a little while ago, so he's just so comfortable behind this. With 77 workers, his economy is looking fantastic.
And he's up by 70 supply. That's always nice. His upgrades are behind. That's one thing that Dayshi has going for him. But that's it. Now Dayshi, he's been behind before. You know, he doesn't seem that like strong in the mid game. He'll always lose a big chunk like he just did. But he's able to recognize that like I can't do anything, and he's gonna play it passively with a early 4th, and just like Altazim, maybe come back.
Oh, Impact actually gonna start working on these back rocks. Dayshi will be able to hear / see this. He's paying attention, but right now his focus is gonna be on these Mutalisks. No turret remade in the main. Constantly bleeding out workers right now. And Impact's got some Zerglings running around the north side too. This is crazy how much multitasking Impact has going on right now as a Zerg player, because normally you're forced to funnel versus a Terran player, right? Like sometimes the Mutalisks split off, sure, but rarely do you get this much freedom.
He's just having. He's gonna hate Mutalisks, man. There's just some games like I know Dayshi can deal with Mutalisks. He's definitely a very
We've seen it
good
before in
Terran
WCS,
player.
yeah.
But he just seems like very, very off today. As in regards to Mutas, like if Muta's getting his main base once, he suddenly goes on tilt almost.
I wouldn't say tilt, but it almost just feels like he shuts down as far as his like collectiveness goes. Right now in the middle of the map, some Widowmine hits will be a huge aid to this, but there's just not a lot of Marines, just even less Medevacs behind this. I mean, normally you'd love to have so many Medevacs that your Marines are personal heals, so to speak, but Planetary goes down to the Banelings, and Dayshi loses another base. More Banelings rolling in, and not enough spreading. He's got to get behind this. Does focus them down, though. Really nice control there out of Dayshi. I mean, that's the one thing we'll give him. Granted, he's struggling to deal with the multitasking of Impact, but when it comes to these singular fights, his control is immaculate. Unfortunately, though, these Mutalisks are still going to be a big nuisance for him to deal with. Both players on their way to 3-3. Actually, Dayshi only way 3, as he doesn't have armor upgrades on the way. But an attack up here to the north once again. That bunker was torn down, so there's nothing to stop these Lings from tearing these SCVs apart. And Dayshi has lost so many workers this game, up to 71 dead.
Yeah. Again, putting his engineering base in the most vulnerable spots. I don't know about that.
It's definitely stranger to see, but he's not really paid the price too much. I mean, what was that? One Sun Altazim throughout all the series. What is attack? Oh, this one Ling has been working at the rocks this whole time! And he finally knocks it down! I thought he killed off all the Lings, so I didn't even care about the rocks to look at them.
That's
like,
funny.
what does that sound? Something's attacking, but now there's a huge open, and because of the barracks positioning, he can't build a supply depot wall. But that's not going to matter because the focus is over here on the 4th. Oh, he's getting away from this, but there's just not enough Medevacs to support these stims. Base goes down, and GG will be called. Impact, ladies and gentlemen, he's completely turned this series around. Goes from 2-0, now leads 3-2, and it's put Dayshi on what is possibly his last map.
it is really a complete reversal. Wow, can't talk. Complete reversal from what we saw in the
Good.
two
It's not just me.
initial games. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like Dayshi was so on point. We were like, oh man, Dayshi, he's looking really on fire, and then Muta's